this was a 48-hour game jam game. Yeah, so written by me, edited. We actually had an editing process. Like, whenever I would finish a section, I had Genevieve Rose and John Deppa look it over and make sure that everything was mostly intact, at least legibly intact. Music. Christopher Escalante was so awesome. He had some music on hand. The game dev history, right? Oh my god. Yeah, so Christopher Escalante had music on hand, and he let me use the music. We had voice actors. Preacher Harlow is Jonah Scott. I obviously played a part in the game. Helen is Genevieve Rose. Sinful Woman, Hayden Davio. Bradley Gareth is the drunken man and the policeman, and the doctor is Madam Sharkey. Michaela Lore. Oh my god. But oh my god. Are you ready for this? Like, yeah, so this was made, again, I want to stress, this was made in 48 hours. This was made in 48 hours. And it's available now. Like, the game is available now to buy and all that stuff. I believe it's like a dollar, I think. It's like $1 to get it. I want to say it's $1. Or if it's free, it's free. I don't care. But yeah, so, yeah. Oh my god, I remember making all this and streaming this whole thing, like, holy crap. Breaking through it all.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Hell yeah, you did.
How could this happen to me? How could I have stooped so low as to allow this? I can only blame myself. I was weak, vulnerable to the desires of the flesh. And now, here I kneel before the judgment of God, tainted by the red nails of Satan's harlot. Will you accept this tainted soul into your flock, knowing what he has done?
You're really getting into this, huh?
Don't speak to me, Temptress.
What? You came to me with a tent in your pants. Don't blame me for you needing to release some internal stress into a lady.
You are no lady.
And you're no man of God, now are you?
She's right. I let myself become lustful for companionship, where I willingly tainted my soul with desire. I have no right to call myself a holy man, much more a man of God. How can I earn my salvation now? My name is Harlow, a pastor and a Christian. I live in the rotten shambles of a church no one cares for or remembers. Do I regret my position? No. I speak to the Lord and carry out his will. Should he demand my silence, I would shut my mouth to any who seek to open it. Should he demand my praise, I would sing songs of his wisdom and love for all who would hear. Yet I find myself chained to a being not welcome in this world God has created. The devil. I had not ever imagined myself being held by such a sinful creature. But I had done so without the knowledge of whom I was holding in return. And all because I succumbed to the calling of such a vile sin.
You know, maybe if you prayed a little more, God would have stopped you from coming to my corner.
How much longer will I be tested? Have I not proven my devotion to you?
Do I regret my decision? Was a mission.
And he's ignoring me again. Great.
In the name of the Father, and the Son,
and the fuck me silly, amen and hallelujah.
Do not speak of such taint upon this holy ground.
Holy ground? Bitch, where? I don't see any sign that says...
Shut your blasphemous mouth! This is a church, and you somehow slithered your way into this building.
You're cute when you're stupid. This church is nowhere on holy ground, or else your precious God would have stopped me.
Hold your tongue.
Hold it for me, baby.
What will it take for me and this place to be rid of you?
So the holy man finally asks. I was wondering how long it would take before you dropped your pants again for the devil. Well. Got nothing to say now? You're about to make a deal with the devil and climb down a hole you can't climb back out of. You sure you want to hear the punchline before your joke of a life is over?
Now, did I say that, or was that just the voice acting?
I've already tainted my soul with your stench. I might as well know what I'm bathing in.
Poetic. I'm slightly turned on by that mouth of yours.
Enough prattle out of you. What torment do you have in store for me?
Well, I could just take your soul now and be done for the day. But you're just too interesting to slice apart that quickly. Gotta savor my prey, you know?
This is what I've become now. Pray. Lord, forgive me.
So I'll make you an offer that may or may not piss you off, just to see if you'll take it. How do you feel about murder?
You will not command me to do any such act.
Oh, I won't command it or demand it or whatever. Just a thought, since, you want to be saved and shit, right?
How would murder save my soul?
I'll make it simple, I promise. 7 souls, how about that?
Silence.
Come on, preacher boy. 7 souls ripped from this earth and I'll let you go. It's a steal if you ask me.
And I'll make the choices just to save time. I would rather burn in hell. But I've already dug my grave. How far will I continue to dig?
See, aren't I such a nice person? 7 souls for the price of 1. And you're gonna do the whole silent treatment thing on me now, aren't you?
Ugh.
It's not gonna work, you know. I'll just assume you've accepted my terms.
I cannot respond to her, but I cannot find myself denying this deal she has set before me. What can I do? If I deny her, then I will lose the chance of redemption and have her licking my heels until my death. But if I agree, then I will be forced to commit the biggest atrocity known to mankind, one God forbids without any question. My silence only leads me to paths of damnation.
I think I hear the cogs in your head turning. Creepy. Well, I'll just make myself comfy until you make a decision. It's not like I'm gonna let you go for free.
I will throw you out.
I will make out with your pillows and bed sheets until you make a choice. Or, better yet, 7 souls, 7 days.
What?
Did I stutter? 7 days for 7 souls. Do it, and I'll kiss the pavement on my way out. Fail, and I take your soul for wasting my time. Deal?
Her hand extended out to me as if she deserved to be acknowledged. But what choice do I have? I can only take it, biting my cheek in self-punishment for this decision.
Good boy. Have a good night.
Oh Lord, forgive me, for I have sinned. And may my soul carry the strength to defy this abomination. This she-devil wants me to exchange 7 souls for my own. She believes that I will bend to her will. No. I refuse to give in to this creature's demand. She may have forced an answer out of me, but she will not force me to comply with her whims. I will take this time to prepare my soul for what is to come. I will banish myself and cast my body into the flames of hell. No being on this earth should have to their life traded for mine. Let my sin be of my own destruction. The morning is unkind, and the sun only taunts me as I awaken the following day. The wooden floor beneath me, rotten and bending with both the march of time and the weight of my body, creaks its pity for me. The monster in my bed slowly spurs me to stand faster and leave the room. Despite her nonsense, I am still a preacher, and God still has work for me to do while I am on this earth. I enter my bathroom and stare in shock at what has been done to my body. 7 large slashes, poorly photoshopped, etched across my chest, taunting me and reminded me of the deal I had unwillingly made. Are these simply marks of my agreement, or the shadows of what I must do? Hi, Koi, thanks for coming! I cannot bear to look at myself any longer and continue to dress for the day. When I am good and ready, I continue my journey to my calling. Walking down the steps of my room to the attic of the chapel, we can hear each stair weakly groan out and disappointed in me. It's a sound I'm used to, but this time their disapproval echoes tenfold for who I had sinned with. I cannot fault them, and I continue forward into the sanctuary of the building, a place where any and all are welcome to find God's light. The hall is empty and I don't mind. It's been silent for many months, and only the starving or the sick show their face before the pulpit and the cross in rare intervals. This is, no doubt, because of the age of this place. I'm gonna just talk normally, I'm so sorry. The walls, the doors, the paint, and even the cross that hangs high above our victims to the time and neglect. Yet I came and embraced this place in my love, hoping to bring life back into its hallowed halls. Pity that I am a mere sinner. A small knock beats from the front doors. I know immediately who it is, stepping forward and unlocking the doors for them.
Good morning, Helen.
Good morning, Pastor Harlow. Did you sleep well?
A small smile from an innocent soul. If only she knew the man she was speaking to.
I slept well.
A lie.
And how did you sleep?
The same. What would you like me to do today?
Helen was a dear friend who willingly volunteers her time to clean the chapel and welcome in people who seek guidance when I am lost in my study. Without her, no one would even dare come to my doorstep because of the rot. I am forever thankful for her assistance.
Nothing, outside of what you graciously bring already to this place. You are truly a child of God.
Thank you, Pastor.
And with a silent understanding, she goes to dust off the pews with one of the many rags she brings with her. Maybe God guides her steps. Maybe it's her own caring heart that carries her forward. I feel a small twinge of jealousy in my chest at how pure-hearted she is. And thus, the day begins. 7 a.m., a simple visit from a young boy praying for his mother's recovery. 8:30 a.m., a drunk staggers in and naps in a pew. 10 a.m., a woman slides into a pew and casts her head down in prayer.
Can I help you, my child?
Yes, I need a prayer.
Oh, for what?
Dinosaur erotica?
There's context to this, I swear. In the midst of the 48-hour stream, I was taking donations in order to fund the assets in order to make sure I got snacks and all that stuff. And one such donation, I said, if someone donates this much, I will put in a reference to dinosaur erotica. I don't know where that came up. I can't remember what memory brought that up. I believe it was with Lucius and a couple of other people at the time. Everyone was shooting the shit while I was writing, because I was focused on writing and everyone was taking the stream to kind of make it a podcast, make it a joke with things to relax. And Dinosaur Erotica came up, and I'm like, guys, what the fuck? And I'm like, you know what? Fine, fuck it. If someone donates this much, I'll just make a thing about Dinosaur Erotica. And lo and behold, someone donated that much, and we got it.
Excuse me?
I need to go.
A hasty exit. Another trouble thrown out of my mind. Time slowly moves on without a care of who comes and goes from my church. I'm used to this, used to the turtle pace of the flock. By noon, silence reigns once more. A sigh escapes me as I sit behind the pulpit.
Is something wrong?
I lift my head to look into Helen's concerned eyes.
It's nothing for you to worry about.
Are you sure? It's okay if you want to talk about it.
I hold her hand. I do not wish for her to worry, so I can only give a small sign of assurance. Another lie, but one that needs to be made.
I am all right. There is nothing you need to worry about me.
A soft smile and a nod in return.
All right.
I look at the time. 5 minutes after noon. Lunchtime. I stand with a revitalized smile.
I'll get us lunch this time. Would you like anything specific?
Helen shakes her head.
I should be going soon anyway. I have to prepare for my night class.
It's almost escapes me that she's also a college student. I can only walk her out and wave goodbye as she leaves to prepare for the night.
So, when are you gonna fuck her?
And my soul burns with anger once more.
Watch your tongue.
I'm just saying, she's cute. I'm surprised she hasn't offered to suck your—
Enough!
I snatch my jacket from the wall, preparing to go out and get lunch for myself.
Ooh, you gonna go get lunch? Get me something too.
I am not your dog.
You are so my bitch.
Without another word, I walk out and lock the door behind me. I doubt she would raise hell in the building, at least not without me being there to watch her do it. I at least can find some form of solace in that. I enter my van, which is parked beside the building, and drive to find some food. Meanwhile, my mind begins to wander. I can't help but think of what has occurred and what will occur, How does one truly say goodbye to life and embrace the harsh punishment of hell? I shudder, thinking of the flames in my imagination painted in my mind in homage to hell. The imagined screams of the damned echoed in my mind, warning me of what is to come and what I will be forced to endure. My hands grip the steering wheel, my foot presses hard on the gas pedal beneath me. For all of eternity, I will... What happened? My vision, blurred and distorted, barely makes out the airbag pressed against my body. I can hear my heart beating in my head from the impact I made, but what on earth caused it? I weakly reached for my seatbelt and unfastened it, freeing myself from its confines before opening the door and stumbling out of my car. The smell of gas and fire rushes through my nostrils, and I realize what has just occurred. A car crash. One that I had caused or was part of? Which is the truth? I shake my head and I look to see the damage done to my car. Surprisingly, only the front is caved in. I turn my head farther to see who or what I had collided with. My body goes cold. Flipped on its top of a much smaller car than mine, a Jeep. The side I had crashed into released smoke and flame, which was quickly engulfing the car and the victims within it. I barely caught in the shadows of 3 teenagers crumpled into their seats from within the smoke. I can only imagine one step forward before I fall to my knees and feel gravity violently pull my stomach down.
Ow!
My heart stops for a moment as I force my head up to view the scene once again, hearing the voice of a young man cry out from the wreckage. A young man strapped into the back seat of the Jeep struggles to unlatch himself. The smoke, having cleared slightly, reveals his 2 friends in the front seat with their necks violently snapped. He is the only one alive. I force myself forward on my hands and knees, attempting to gather my strength and save him. But...
Pastor Harlow,
He'll be fine. He just needs some time to rest after the accident.
what happened?
Well, there were a group of teenagers racing around in a lot in a stolen Jeep, and they decided to take their excursion to the street. According to the police and eyewitnesses, they skidded in front of the minister and caused an accident.
Oh my god.
I agree. He's lucky to still be alive.
What about the teenagers?
They did not make it. Seconds after the collision, the Jeep they had commandeered for their fun exploded. We could barely make out their bodies after the fire was put out.
Oh, Lord.
They had died in that accident. Because I wasn't paying attention, Was it my fault? It had to have been, yet from the doctor's story...
How long will it take for him to recover?
2 days, maybe 3. If all goes well, we can release him on Wednesday night and let him rest at home.
Thank you, Doctor.
I can't help but let my mind wander as I rest. Was I at fault for their deaths? And was my negligence to the road really what had caused the accident, or was I going to be part of it whether I had paid attention or not? Even as silence in the night takes over the room I was healing, and I became lost, frightened. The image of the burning Jeep scratches itself into my deep memory. My soul knows that eventually I will burn like them.
Well done. I didn't even have to do anything, and you already have a nice head start.
My eyes shoot open at the sound sheathing into my recovering eardrums. Her voice is both an annoyance and a torturous device meant to stab pain through my soul. My side sits the At my side sits the she-devil who plagues me still, a smirk stretched from ear to ear in some sadistic form of pride.
I get it, you're a little deaf, but I know you can hear me, and your mouth isn't damaged.
What do you want?
I'm here to congratulate you! Is that such a bad thing?
My thoughts escape me. I don't wish to listen to this harlot anymore.
What do you mean?
Hello? The 3 shithead teens who died in that car crash? 3 down. Oh, don't feel bad for them. They were adrenaline junkies who wanted to get off in a stolen Jeep without seatbelts. Karma's a bitch, ain't it?
You had something to do with this.
Me? The devil you locked in your church before you left? While I'm flattered by your confidence in how powerful I am, I'm too lazy to set up a perfect accident like that.
No. No, this can't be. This is solely in my head.
Oh God, please don't start crying. I thought you were supposed to be holier than thou and shit.
Hello! Hello, Mr. Loris. Are you trying to say hello? Okay, looking. Okay, you keep looking at it.
Be quiet.
Subconsciously, I run my hand over my chest along the fabric of my medical gown. Wait. I instantly stop, and a small chuckle rumbles from the monster beside me.
Surprise!
I slide open the collar of my medical gown across my chest and stare down at the scratches on my body. Where there were once 7, now 4 remain intact on my skin. The other 3 vanished without a trace of them ever being there in the first place.
3 down, preacher boy. Oh, and don't worry. No one else can see those nice little marks you have. I made sure of that.
So this is how you will torment me.
Again with the high and mighty bullcrap. You got into that accident, so technically you murdered them. Their deaths count.
Oh Lord, forgive me.
If you finish that prayer, I will backhand you.
Hello, Mr. Loris. I'm in the middle of a stream talking wonderful, wonderful people who are listening to my old writing.
What do you want from me?
Your soul. Duh. Or 7 other souls. That's your choice. I'll take either or.
You don't belong on this earth.
And you're not fit to be a preacher man. Face it, you're a shitty human being, and that's all you'll ever be. Not even God can give a shit about you. If he did, you wouldn't be in this mess.
Damn her. Damn her words, her mouth, her existence. My soul feels lighter. Why? Two days have gone by, while my heart continues to mourn and shudder at what had occurred to me and the teenagers. Something in my soul feels lighter and free. Why do I feel this way? What happened? Is it because I am closer to being free from the she-witch? No. I cannot allow myself to feel as such. And yet...
Hello, Mr. Loris. I am in the middle of doing work right now. I'm sorry I cannot give you full attention. But the chat says hello and they would like to give you nice pets. Thank you.
3 souls. Yeah. Where'd it go?
Here, let me help you up the stairs.
Thank you.
A gentle arm around me, guiding my steps up to my room. I no longer need to rest at the clinic, so I'm allowed sanctuary in my church. I am both thankful, yet unexcited to reunite with the devil girl who marked my room as her own. If I am lucky, then the abomination will not be there when we reach the top of the stairs. Ellen opens the door to my room, void of anyone. Thank God.
I can walk to my bed on my own from here. Thank you, Helen, for your assistance.
Absolutely. I've sent messages to my professors about what happened, and they're okay with me working here until you fully recover.
I can only nod. I'm not well enough to perform my usual duties or lead in any prayer. However, Helen can greet and guide visitors without needing to do as I do for them. I let my body sink into my bed and instinctively shut my eyes. It is not as comfy as a clinical bed, but is my bed nonetheless. I can barely hear Helen slowly walk out of the room and close the door behind her. At last, a moment to myself in my own room.
Welcome home, sweetie.
I can't stop the growl that escaped me.
You disgust me.
That's not what you said when we met.
I have no strength to toss her out. I can only grumble and sink further into my mattress.
Leave me in peace.
Get me 4 more souls.
No matter how much I argue with her, she will not leave me be. I might as well remain silent. After all, she is a foul beast with a stronghold on my soul. At any moment she could pull me under and I would be lost forever. She knows how to silence me in the end. I keep my eyes closed and try to let sleep take hold of me, but faster I recover, the faster I can remove myself from the room and continue my work as a preacher. A preacher. Me. Am I really deserving of that title after what has happened? Should I even allow myself to recover? I will be taken at the end of the week. I refuse to take another life. And yet, some darker part of me is desperate. This feeling of euphoria, the taste of almost being free from this harpy is blissful or sinful?
What are you? What are you doing? What are you nipping at? What are you nipping at?
You know your soul belongs to me, right?
Fire, flames licking my arms, my neck, my chest.
I'm going to have so much fun with you.
I can't stop. It's too hot. I'm burning up. Someone help me.
Scream all you like. No one will save you here in hell.
God, forgive me. Lead me through this flame and show me mercy.
God can't save you.
No!
Baby, I'm in the middle of something very traumatic. I'm leading the stream through a traumatic experience.
Ah! Pastor Harlow!
A nightmare? Yes. Only a nightmare. The air around me is normal. The side of my room is real. I am okay. Helen sits on a wooden stool beside the bed, holding a plate of food for me. When did she?
Helen,
Are you okay? You looked like you were having a terrible nightmare.
Tell the truth. For now, she is the only one I can confide in. She has helped me thus far.
Baby.
I must trust her. A sad nod. She places her hand in mine in comfort.
Helen?
Whatever you dreamt of, it's over, okay? You're safe here, and soon everything will be back to normal.
If only she knew. Helen lifts the plate of food up to show me what she's brought for me. Simple cheese cubes and bread with melon slices. A simple meal, but one I am thankful for.
Here, to help bring your energy up. You have to eat properly.
I can only nod, unable to say any more.
Yes, my baby girl. No, you cannot have the wire.
Time escapes me as I slowly nibble on my food. My jaw, adjusting to remaining silent in slumber, aches as I open to welcome the bread. I must look pathetic, but it is what I can do for now. Eventually, I will recover from this, and I will move again. Maybe I can find a way out of this hellish contract I am bound to. One could only hope. Helen leaves me after feeding me, taking the now empty plate with her. Looking outside, it's dark, and I know she will have to lock up and leave. As I hear the echo of the front doors locking, I let out a sigh. I am back to being alone. With a devil. That's when I hear it.
Hello, Pastor Harlow?
Shouting from outside, my door is faint, barely stretching through the cracks to my ears. What is going on?
Are you there? I really need to speak to you if you don't mind.
I force myself out of bed, rushing towards my door to figure out who is calling for me. I don't recognize the voice.
Jeez, I didn't know you were such a wildly desired preacher.
I can't help but glare in her direction.
What did you do?
Again, you're blaming me for shit I didn't do. Maybe someone's desperate to sing Kumbaya with you before going home. I don't know.
I click my tongue in disapproval and continue towards the door. I can hear the woman who was asking for me reach the top of the stairs.
Now, before you do that...
Enough out of you!
I mean it, you might want to hear what I...
Quiet!
I grab hold of the knob and force the door open, pushing it out to receive my guest.
Ah!
I can only stare as the woman, who was reaching for my doorknob in return, is forced back from the door and starts to tumble down the stairs.
Huh?
Baby. Well, someone's dying. Someone is dying. Go down the stairs.
How? No! She's... Her body is just twisted and broken.
I swear I can't do anything with you. I told you to hold on.
The woman How did she... When did she... Why did... It had to be her fault. She had something to do with this. I turn and glare at the devil, knowing that she made this murder occur.
You caused this.
You can't blame me for this one.
I grab the cross that hangs from my door and hold it out towards the she-witch.
Begone, spawn of Satan!
Are you serious right now?
The power of Christ compels you from this holy sanctuary!
Dude, you're embarrassing yourself. Put that down.
I grit my teeth and tighten my hold on my cross, unrelenting in my desire to remove her from my life. The devil finally stops smiling and just glares at me.
I said, put it down.
Like I would obey her.
Ah!
I drop my cross as it suddenly ignites into flame in my hand. It clatters onto the floor and stops burning at last, leaving a dark char on its wooden build. How did she... No, that couldn't happen.
Are you done having a tantrum? Do you need a pacifier too?
That's impossible.
The devil stares at me in disbelief. No unholy being can overpower God's light. How was she able to light his symbol in a flame?
Humans are fucking stupid, I swear.
She walks over and picks up the cross, clutching it between her hands.
First of all, wooden cross. Easily ignitable. Idiot.
She then snaps the cross into two pieces and drops both to the floor. Part of my soul tears at the sight. 3 steps forward and she grasps She grasps the collar of my shirt, pulling me to her in almost deathly grasp. The stench of her breath penetrates my nose and I wince at how close her face is to mine.
Second, your soul is mine, bitch. As long as you carry my marks, no holy magic can save you from me.
No, I won't let her control me.
Now you should be happy that you got another kill. That's one more soul you don't need to hunt for.
I grab at her wrist and try to force her off me, but she tightens her grip and lifts my shirt higher, forcing me to arch back. She leans in nose to nose with me and I can't help but scowl.
4 down, 3 to go.
The body was taken from the church. Since the doors were locked, the woman who had died was considered guilty of breaking and entering. After a morning full of interviews from police and investigators, I was excused to rest. I wasn't sure how much more I could handle, the weight of the deaths around me. Yet with each passing death, I felt that much closer to freedom. My heart felt abnormally ecstatic, and my body felt lighter, like chains were being dropped from my limbs and allowing me to inch closer to God's light. Was this an illusion? Some fake form of hope to spur me into doing what I knew was humanity's ultimate sin? I had to fight this. I had to find a way to control the unbridled euphoria from this cursed deal. But I would be free. But I would carry the weight of 7 lives on my shoulders. Sleeping became impossible. The self-imagined drownings of hell and the devil's torturous acts on my body frightened me enough to keep my eyes wide open throughout the day and the following night. It was now Friday, and I was beyond tired. My body ached in exhaustion, and my eyes would not stop fluttering in their need to remain shut. How was I going to be able to do this?
You know, whether or not you sleep isn't my problem.
I was too exhausted to deal with the annoyance in my life, but I let a weakened sigh escape my lips at her statement.
I'm just saying.
A moment. A singular moment of peace was all I wanted. A breath of time without her smirk in my mind's eye. Peace. I stopped for a moment and looked around. No witty retort. No sarcastic reply to my request. Just total silence.
Where did she go?
I stood from my bed, looking around my room in search of the damned devil. Despite the little time I had in knowing her, this was unusual for her. Was I actually allowed to have a chance to breathe? I couldn't help but fall to my knees beside my bed and clasp my hands together, pressing my thumbs to my lips.
Oh Lord, forgive me, for I have sinned.
Oh Lord, please have mercy on me.
I have committed unspeakable sin, and I must ask for your forgiveness for my wrongdoing.
I have allowed this evil to walk through and envelop my life. I must not let it control me any longer.
In the name of...
A shout breaking through my prayer.
Huh? Who is...
Somebody, please, let me in!
Frantic pounding at the front door, a boy crying for help. I rush out of my room and practically sprint down my stairs, only to see the she-devil leaning against the locked doors, filing her nails in boredom.
Oh, hey, you done praying to the spaghetti monster?
Move.
Huh? Why? You locked up for the night.
There's a boy who needs help.
The kid that's beating down your door? He'll be fine. Man, this silent shit is boring as fuck!
The boy continued to beat down the door. I could hear him crying and pleading for some form of sanctuary. Something was wrong. His fists echoed loudly into the chapel, slamming through the wood doors in earnest. A jolt of courage ran through my body as I practically sprinted forward and shoved the devil woman off of the doors.
Holy shit! Ow!
Finally, some control. I quickly maneuvered my hands over the locks to open the doors. No. I could only stand, paralyzed at the sound that reached me through the doors. I didn't even have to open the doors to know what had happened. Knocks and cries for help had stopped. In a burst of anger, I slammed my hand against one of my doors and slid down to my knees, so that my forehead kissed the wooden frame in internal defeat. This is worse than any nightmare I could have ever imagined. How could I, a minister and follower of God, allow this?
Man, those are some sturdy doors for a rotting church.
At the sound of her voice, I felt another scratch on my chest melt away into nothing. 2 more. Was this also my... Was I destined somehow to surround myself with death and destruction? Was this some sort of sign from God?
Hey, you.
What am I supposed to feel?
Hello? You?
Will I become numb to this?
Hey!
A strong kick to my side forces me down to the floor with a thump. I look up and glare, unable to stop myself from snarling in an undignified rage.
You done?
Keep your filthy being off of me!
You know what? I'm not even gonna bring up the fact that you fucked me already. Oops, already did it. Get over yourself. It'll be over soon.
This is beyond any form of torture you can strike at me.
You really wanna bet?
I can't take it. I stand and march towards her, unafraid of her power over me.
Either I become a willing witness to murder, or you take my soul. Both roads will leave me scarred before God.
Now, when you say witness, you mean watching or actually participating? Because taking part is what you've been doing.
I can't control my fist slamming into the wall beside her head.
Ooh, feisty.
Yet I cling to some form of control, able to bite my tongue instead of showering her in filth from my words. I am better than that. I will never stoop to her level. Not again. A moment of silence, staring at each other in a battle of dominance. This church is my domain. She has trespassed it.
You know what, you little bitch? I am so sick of your whining and crying.
Pang of fear? Is she?
I'll do you a solid. I'll take care of the boy on your stoop, so you don't have to deal with the police and shit. And I'll leave you alone for the next couple of days.
Wait.
Why the change of heart? If you have such a thing.
Because despite me just sitting back and letting you do your preacher shit and killing people, you constantly point the finger at me, like I was the one who fucked a prostitute. So I'm just gonna clear out and let you figure out that you are the one who's doing all of this shit. I happily take credit for things I actually do, but a human is not gonna pin human shit on me.
A snap of her fingers and her body disappears into black smoke. The wisps of black dance in the air before fading into transparent nothingness. Yet still, I hear her voice in my head.
2 days, preacher boy. 2 souls, or your pathetic ass is mine.
I grit my teeth before holding my head and folding onto my knees. I cannot escape. 2 more lives. and I cannot blame the one who started. The devil has brought so much pain and suffering into my life. How will I end this journey? Oh Lord, please guide my feet. I ask for your strength as I fall one way or another. Will I damn 2 other souls, or will my soul be engulfed in hell's inferno? For once that night, I slept, and I was welcomed into a dreamless slumber until the morning. Saturday, the day before the Sabbath day, and the day before my last. How would I spend it? I don't feel the claws of that monstrosity holding me down like they did the previous nights. Is it because I only have 2 marks left? Or is it because the devil girl is not here? For a moment, I can breathe. Dressing at last and carrying the strength of the day, I walk down the steps of my church to the sanctuary of the chapel. The front door is unlocked. I tense up instinctively. Did the devil lie to me? Is she here? I look toward the pulpit past the pews, sensing a presence in the chapel. Could it be?
Good morning, Pastor Harlow.
A breath of relief.
Morning, Helen.
How are you feeling?
She walks over and places the back of her hand on my forehead. A sincere gesture. Sweet. I can only smile softly.
I am much better than I have been for a while.
At last, the truth. My soul isn't plagued by a dimmed veil of sin and punishment. For once this week, there's peace. Smile in return.
I'm glad.
She removes her hand from my face and returns to dusting off the pews. I watch for a moment. Will she miss me? Will she notice or care when I'm gone? Would I be able to face her again if I allowed 2 more souls to be taken instead? The closer I am to my demise, the stronger the thoughts in my head ring out in base curiosity. Still, the day will not wait, and thus the day begins. 7 a.m. a boy comes in and prays for his mother's swift recovery. 8:30 a.m. a drunken homeless man wobbles in and sleeps in a pew. 10 a.m. a woman walks in and sits in a pew, obviously waiting for me.
May I help you?
I'm sorry for what I said before. I was the one who...
It's alright. What can I do you for?
I really need that prayer. I've become obsessed with... Oh, I can't say it again.
God will not turn you away here. Tell me.
I'm obsessed with dinosaur erotica, and I need to be cleansed.
God damn it. God damn it. Another strange moment in my church, but one I work out in the name of God. As the clock rings for the afternoon to begin, I let out another sigh. Even as my days become numbered, the pace of the flock still remains constant. Helen moves from the back towards the front doors, waving at me.
I'm off. See you tomorrow, Pastor.
Hey, pretty lady.
The drunken man slowly rises from the pew, awakened from his passed-out state, and grins at Helen.
Hello, sir?
My. God gave you a gift, didn't he?
He starts to stumble forward, gripping the pews for balance. I instantly make my way to the 2 of them, wanting to protect Helen.
Sir, I have to ask you to...
You're wasting your time with the preacher, man. Let me show you the proper way to use your hands.
No, thank you.
Another step, another stumble, before I find myself between the drunk and Helen.
You need to leave.
You need to not get in my way, holy man.
My skin freezes up at the sight of him drawing a knife from his jacket.
Nobody's gonna care for a dead preacher.
I managed to... Yep, that's a quick time event. I managed to grab his wrist and twist it back to face the knife away from both of us. But the drunk grabs my neck in reply, pressing his dirty fingernails into my flesh. Gripping his shoulder, I force him back to try and release his hold. But he swings our linked arms between us and aims his knife once again. In an act of desperation,
Oh my god!
You.
He stabbed himself. Or did I stab him? He fell back and cracked his head open on the pew on the way down. There's no life in his body. No breath in his chest.
Harlow? Are you okay?
My hand gently reaches for Helen. To my surprise, she takes it in both of her hands, trying to comfort my shaking form.
Helen, please call the authorities.
Without a word in reply, Helen takes out her cell phone and calls 911. The police and ambulance arrive, taking the body of the drunken man away. Helen relays what happened to the authorities as I sit in a pew with a blanket around my shoulders. I stare at the floor, reliving that moment over and over, trying to figure out what I had done wrong. I was protecting myself. I was protecting Helen. Yet a man died, and another scratch is removed from my chest. One remains, and some twisted, dark part of me screams in excitement. I don't recognize this person, yet I acknowledge their euphoria for the situation I am in. I have one more day left. What will happen? I look around, assuring myself that the devil witch is not there. I don't smell her stench. I can't feel her smirk from the shadows. This is all on me. The night passes and I feel torn in many ways. I am both elated and unnaturally at the progress being made on my curse. I'm so close to being free. Yet I find myself in fear of what is to come should I fail. The memories of how my imagination had been haunting me in my dreams. I can faintly taste the ash and charcoal from my nightmares. My mind preparing me for what is to come. Or will I have the chance to save myself? Taking in the scent of the morning as I wake, I can't help but let my chest rise from bed and guide me. The singular scratch across my skin, badly photoshopped, practically seductive, greets me as I enter the bathroom to clean and dress myself. I can't help but run my fingers along it, pretending that it would vanish with my touch. Maybe, just maybe. Lord, forgive me for my eagerness, but I long to return to your embrace. I make my way down to the chapel, taking in the sound of the organ playing. I only knew one person who knew how to perform. At the bottom of the stairs, I turn my gaze and lay my sights on Helen, who is sitting in the front of the organ, playing it in silence. I smile. She is very talented, and a small glimmer of hope within my body remembers. Maybe I can stay and listen to her play for more than just today. I can be safe and savor these moments as they are meant to be. I barely noticed on the high swinging of the cross that hangs above me. And all at once my breath stops, and the air around me stills unnaturally. I know too well that this was unholy magic at work, and I know who is at fault.
You've returned.
I have, preacher boy. Can I get a welcome home kiss?
I find myself able to turn to her, the music in the air rippling because of her strange power over time and space. She stands before me, grinning ear to ear as she taps a collar and chain against her side. Meant for me? Or...
What, not even a welcome home hug?
What are you doing here? The day ain't over.
It's about to be. Well, for her, anyway.
The devil woman points her free hand at Helen, who remains in her seat, still in her seat by the organ. My heart stops as I realize ahead of time her demise. The rotting chain holding the heavy wooden cross against the wall is perfectly aligned with her spot, and the cross would crush her instantly if it fell.
Helen!
She can't hear you, holy man.
Why? Why her?
You're asking as if I planned this. Look around. This place is rotting, and anything can happen in such a decrepit place.
Despite not wanting to listen to her excuses, she was correct. The church itself was withering and dying under my watch. In my pious blindness, I neglected to revitalize it correctly. So all of the deaths that happened. No.
I know you had something to do with all of these deaths.
With a growl of her own, the devil woman sneered at me.
That's what's wrong with you humans. You try and place blame on anything except yourselves when something goes wrong. I come along for the ride, taking a chance to snatch souls from under Angel Watch, and I instantly become the scapegoat for your bullshit. The one time I take a back seat and suddenly I am the one at fault for everything. This is why humanity will die by its own hands, and we devils don't have to do a damn thing.
I stare, lost in her explanation. She expects me to believe her words. She truly thinks she is not at fault for this. At my silence, the abomination shakes her head.
I've had my fun. You're lucky I have to move on from this city. But I'm not leaving without a pet.
Eerily slowly, I can hear the chains holding the cross rot away and break. I turn to see it snap and the cross begin to fall.
Make a choice, preacher. The girl or you.
I dash forward, not caring for my own safety. With Helen in my sight, I reach out and take her arm and with the last of my strength throw her away from the organ and the falling cross. Time seems to run in slow motion, and I watch as Helen reaches safety. And I... Darkness. That is all I can see. I am wrapped by some form of cold embrace. I feel my body floating in nothingness. Is this my afterlife?
Wow. You actually did that.
I open my eyes to see the devil woman floating by me, arms crossed in disappointment. For once, I smile at her.
I would never let you touch her.
The monster snarls at me, lowering her hands.
Well, you still have my mark, so your soul is...
Her voice stops, and she looks up, and her eyes go wide in fear.
You!
I look over at last to see what had caused her such fright, and stare into the gaze of a being wrapped in a gray and black coat, and a skull for a face. Behind the towering being float two other beings dressed in white and gold robes of their own, and carrying wings of pure white feathers. For the angels. The skulled being, however, hovers its large scythe over my body, pointing the edge towards the devil woman in some form of taunt.
No! That's not fair! I earned this one! He belongs to me!
Silence is the being's only reply as my body slowly floats towards the angels behind the skulled being. The devil snarls and brings out a large sword, grasping it tightly in both hands.
I don't care if he's forgiven. He bears my mark!
As the angels lay their hands on me, the mark on my chest vanishes and I inhale a breath of pure air. The sight causes yet another fear-struck gaze to cross the woman's face.
Self-sacrifice.
The skulled being lowers its scythe as the harlot floats back into the dark space, and glares hard at me and the angels that hold me close.
You got off on a technicality. A stupid, minor technicality that shouldn't exist!
Despite the anger in her eyes, the woman refuses to come toward me.
Fine. But mark my words, this is not the last you will see of me. I will tear the gates of heaven apart, and when I do, you will be the first soul I fuck into the pits of hell where you belong.
With her final vow to me, she disappears into black smoke and fades away into nothing. Am I safe now? Have I truly been freed from her grasp? Around me, I feel safe. And I feel a love I can't recognize. I can't help tears falling down my face from the warmth I feel in my body. I am guided through the dark and find myself embraced in light.
We're sorry for your loss. Take your time. We'll escort you home when you're done.
Arlo. You saved me, but
If I can't have one, then I'll have the other.
Surprise! Yep. Hi, guys. So, how many of y'all are mad at me? Bullshit! That was never part of the deal. The deal's over, man. That's not a part of a deal. And that's the good end.